What's going on, guys? It's Flynn here with an update. It's been a while. I am going to be going in for surgery on January 8th of 2026 for stage 2 of bottom surgery, phalloplasty. I think in one of my last videos, or during my recovery of my last surgery about a year and a half ago now, I was kind of on the fence on whether or not I wanted to continue with the route I'm going to go as far as phalloplasty goes, and or just maybe possibly sticking with metoidioplasty and being done with it. So after, my recovery, it's now been like a year and a half. I was really, I thought long and hard about, whether I wanted to continue with the surgeries, based off of my complications that I had, and my experience at the time. So we'll just kind of rewind. I ended up getting stage 1 of phalloplasty a year and a half ago, and they did a full hysterectomy, vaginoplasty, and basically recreating my new phallus utilizing what I already had, and a partial scrotoplasty. With that, I had tissue loss, so essentially tissue died. There wasn't enough blood flow, which caused part of my urethra to essentially die, that they created because they had to lengthen it when they did it, causing a fistula, so basically a hole in your urethra. So when they created my new urethra, they used parts of the inside of the vagina to lengthen the urethra so that I could stand to pee. And then creating the rest of the phallus. So with that, though, I ended up getting 2 fistulas, one pretty significant one and another small one. So essentially, when I pee, it comes out the tip of my penis, it comes out the bottom of my penis, and then there's a little spigot that veers off to the left. So I've got urine coming out of 3 different areas, not making it possible to stand to pee because it's a mess. So since then, it didn't get any better. We would maybe hope that it would kind of close up semi, but it's way too big to close. So at this point, I've been going through electrolysis for the last year and a half to remove hair from my arm all the way around. And I got my clearance about 2 weeks ago from my surgeon, saying that I was good to go. There are still a few hairs. I do have one more session this Friday, just to get the little stragglers that might be there. But otherwise, I mean, it's pretty much hair free. There is like a light peach fuzz hair, like that's super fine. But from what I've been told, after they remove the flap, which they'll take pretty much from wrist to about probably 6 inches towards the elbow, that peach fuzz will kind of die and flake off because it's not permanent hair. All right, so this next stage, they are going, it's called RFF, radial forearm flap, meaning they're going to take it from my wrist as much as possible. Kaiser won't go any bigger than 6 inches to create the phallus. And they'll pretty much take it all the way around. They'll cut it, take it all the way around. I think they leave a small section intact so that they don't completely take the full forearm. People ask, what happens to the tattoos? The tattoos are now going to be on my new penis. So They basically will roll it like a tortilla. The inner roll is now going to be my new urethra, because once again they have to lengthen it. And then obviously the outer roll of that will be the exterior of the phallus. They'll sew it together at the bottom, the underneath seam, and it'll basically just be a tube of flesh. I will also get my, partial scrotum will now be a full scrotum. They will take the exterior, what was the exterior labial lips, and kind of put them inside out, I guess, kind of, is how they kind of described it, to create my new scrotum. They'll be empty. Implants don't happen until the very last surgery, but that portion will be done, all simultaneously fixing my previous complications of the fistulas. So that's going to be taken from the inside of my cheeks to repair that. Because it's so large, they're probably going to have to take from both sides. So I'm going to be pretty banged up inside of my mouth, forearm, my groin, obviously. The tissue that they take from here will then be replaced with tissue from my thigh. So they'll do a skin graft from one or both of my thighs to replace what they've taken from here. On the inside of the forearm, they're going to use part of the main artery that's in here and basically hook it up to my current phallus. And on the phallus, there's an artery that runs and it kind of splits off onto both sides of the phallus. So what they'll do is they'll harvest some of this artery, electrical hookup to what I already have, and they'll bury my current phallus in the new phallus, if that makes sense. Hooking everything up so that I get erotic sensation, tactile touch, temperature. In the beginning, I'm not going to feel anything. It takes about 6 months, they say. From what my nurse told me, it's about 1 centimeter per month. So however many centimeters you are is about the time frame that it would take to get feeling back. So if I'm 6 inches or however large, it could take 6 to 8 months depending. But I would have full feeling. As far as functionality goes, the goal is to stand to pee, primary. I will be hospitalized for about a week. So I go in on a Thursday, I'll stay until Thursday, and then I'll come back the following Monday for post-op, and every Monday after that for the first 6 weeks. So I'll be up in LA quite a bit. The first 7 days, I'll be in a hospital bed. I can't stand, I can't walk. They want me laid flat. Because they're hooking arteries and veins and everything up. They don't want any bend in the waist or the groin area, because then you get a kink in the new arteries and then there's lack of blood flow and then you have a dead penis. So laying flat for 7 days is what I'm going to be doing. They said maybe I can kind of sort of sit in a chair after 5 days, but ultimately I'll be there the whole time. So, and it'll be propped up and in a cast of some sort, just so that full blood flow is getting through it, I guess. Other than that, that's kind of all I really know for now. My post-op is next week. And so at this point, I will know more next week. The third stage, which, I mean, I'll go into detail later about that, is basically sculpting the penis. And that can't be done until about a year later. They want you to fully recover, just like with this last one. It took me longer, though, because of my complications and hair removal, so that all kind of takes time. But hopefully in a year's time, I'll be able to go back in. I'll only be down for a couple of weeks from what I've been told. They'll they'll create the head of the penis and kind of really sculpt it in that sense. And then the fourth, obviously, is going to be the implants, the pump, which I've chosen to do, and the testy implant. So again, that'll be done later, but I will get back to you guys after post-op and give you more details. See ya.